If you're single and you are thinking about being married to your significant other and you're going down that path, as a man, I can't speak for women, but as a man, there's a clause in the wedding vows that it's a phrase that says forsaking all others. Now, that is very, very key. And for some men, it's not like we're trying to have our cake and eat it too. You know how they say, you trying to have, it's not necessarily that. It's just that you don't want to rupture a relationship if you had maybe, like, say you've been friends with somebody for your whole life and y'all dated at one point back. And I have friends like that where we dated when we were kids or something, but we still friends and stuff like that. So I'm like, how do I do that, right? And so you really have to forsake all others. You can't go into it, halfway where, it's you and your girl that you're about to marry, but then you still got a trail of these other friends that you haven't really laid down the law and said, listen, I'm getting married, so unless you cool with her, we can't be cool.
So what would you say to the person, say, I'm marrying you, but you're my best friend? I think it's unhealthy.
I don't think you ought to have no best friend that's a female. I don't think you ought to have a female friend that ain't your wife's friend. It just that's not. I ain't gonna say it's not healthy. I'm gonna say it's not smart.
Because the moment
hold on. Because some things we focus a lot on right and wrong, and we focus so much on that till we don't really get to the real question of, is it wise? Because it may not be wrong, but it's probably not wise.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's not the smart thing to do. Your wife may be fine with it. Oh, he has friends. It still ain't wise. Your wife may be totally fine with it, and y'all talk about, oh, you have friends. Go ahead, y'all go and hang out. It's not okay, because guess what? The conversation will switch at some point to a place where it ain't supposed to go. It's just because it's a man and a woman.
It's just inevitable.
Unless y'all blood, then
Is it my turn now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say, ask yourself, what is God's design for relationship? What is God's purpose for relationship? And are you prepared for that? Look at what the vows say and spend time with each one of them, and then ask yourself, can I do that? Do I mean that? Would I be able to say that in all honesty? A lot of anxiety going into relationship because people are so afraid of things going wrong. Accept it. Things will go wrong. And that does not always mean infidelity and cheating. Sometimes it is family, it's financial, it's personal. Some people deal with weight. Maybe your spouse is big and you're not, and you have to cover them and protect them because they carry a certain amount of shame. You love them, but this is something that can really hinder a relationship. So there's just a lot to pay attention to: how you communicate, when you communicate, and praying before you communicate. I wish that we prayed more when we first got married, but we didn't. You know why? I was shy. I was like, oh God, he's gonna think I'm a weird church lady. Now I'm his wife, but that's what I thought. I would pray by myself. He would pray by himself, but we wouldn't do it together. And when we started praying together, I believe everything changed in our relationship. So if you start that before you get married, it can stop you from the premarital sex. It can stop you from, some of the arguments, and it can stop you from comparing yourself to other people, because you're looking for, what does God want from this relationship?
I believe it's Galatians 5 and 6. It says, walk in the Spirit.
And you won't.
And you shall not fulfill
the lust of the
flesh. So there's things that you want to do in your flesh together that are almost impossible to do if both of y'all are walking in the Spirit. You can't. It's hard. It's so difficult to walk in the Spirit and still fulfill your lust. It's just, you can't.
Yeah. You can't walk in the Spirit and be pissed off at somebody.
No.
Once you're in the Spirit, it just changes everything. And the Bible also says, make no provision for the flesh for those of you who feel like we got to live together, because God can only supply my needs if we both live in the same house. I promise we won't touch each other. You just made a provision for your flesh. Somebody gonna be getting out of the shower. Y'all gonna be watching a movie. Something gonna happen. You just make sure that the things that you want to save and make pure, allow them to be pure. Yeah. And ladies, don't let you be the only one that's trying to protect your body. He should be protecting his too. Those are a lot of things. Just a few things to consider before you get married.
Yeah.